What's up, everyone? This is video number 4 of our required reading playlist, and I really hope you can make it all the way to the end of this one. Today, we're discussing vulnerability and reform. All right, so I'm half black, half white, born and raised Washington, D.C. I joined the Marine Corps, became a drill instructor, served some time as a military working dog handler, military police officer, and then I got out. I had intentions to be a police officer in Washington, D.C., passed the polygraph, got through that selection process, and decided at the very end I did not want to do that for whatever reason. Moved down to Miami, started working in gyms, et cetera, et cetera. And here I am living in Michigan, recording these videos out of my spare bedroom. And I'm sharing that with you just so you understand that one, I am a very normal person, and two, my range of experience is pretty broad. I've had 11 addresses in 11 different years. I've lived in a lot of different places and I've met a lot of different people. The number one person who's been an influence on me in a lot of these things that we're discussing in on this channel is my little brother Mark. For the longest time after I got out of the military, I was very colorblind. The military does a really good job of stripping you of your individuality and making you a Marine and making you commit to shared values and shared ethos and shared thoughts. So that time that I served in the military kind of pulled me away from my roots, you would say, right? Or my background kind of pulled me away from what I knew growing up, and we can get into all that later. The main point is that me and my brother used to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about racism and how it affected people in America and how the police were overly excessively forceful and aggressive against black people specifically. And I used to argue with my brother all the time that it was black people's responsibility to take care of themselves, and it was black people's responsibility to get their stuff together so they're not engaging with police officers the wrong way. And for a very, very, very long time, I gave my brother a lot of crap for what he believed. And let's fast forward to 9 years later, 9 years removed from the military. I was at work. I was had some spare time on my hands, and I picked up a book called "How to Be an Anti-Racist." And I picked up that book, and it really did change my life. And I'm not exaggerating that. I'm being 100% serious. It gave me a new way to look at a lot of the stuff that my brother had been saying for a very long time. When I read that book, my perspective completely flipped and I started to investigate these things a lot deeper. I did some learning over the summer, and then I started to do some really introspective work at myself. And I really started to look at how was I complicit in this for so long and ignorant about all this stuff for so long. And then what other areas of my life am I wrong in? And of course, a lot of those things became very clear and obvious the deeper I started to look inward, right? So I believe that it's very important if we're going to start a conversation about right and wrong and about what's going on out there. I think we have to be real with ourselves, right? We have to, the work starts with us, the work starts in here. I can't sit here in front of this camera and labor on about how each of you or we have to do these things if I'm not practicing what I preach, because this is one of the most crucial activities we can do is support these issues and become true allies for a lot of these things. If I'm going to do that, I need to make sure I've got my stuff together. I've been a racist. I've been a racism denier. I have been a woman abuser. I have been the guy that slides in the DMs and sends that nasty text at 3 a.m. A year and a half ago, I was high on cocaine in Miami, and I posted a video to my story of myself half naked, pretty much to right above my waist, and that's not at all who I want to be. I have been extremely bad to gay people because I thought that I knew or understood how it felt to be gay or how I felt to come out of the closet. I've said I care about the environment, but what have I really done to make this world better, right? What have I contributed and what actions have I cut off to make sure that I'm not destroying the world that we're living in? And I've also been very complacent when it comes to the democratic process, like a lot of us have. So throughout the rest of this experience, I guess that you can call it, throughout the rest of this journey, right, that we go on, we're going to talk about everything. And I just want you to understand that the reason a lot of these things are on the list is because I feel that me myself have been guilty of being bad in a lot of these areas. All right, let's call this my 8 Mile moment. This is me coming to you looking you in the face and telling you exactly what's wrong with me. I know what I need to work on, and I have a lot of work to do. But I want to share that journey with everyone. I want to be an example and build a community of people that are really interested in reforming and fixing a lot of their own personal issues in order to contribute better to their community, right? Let's look at the spectrum of the United States of America. We had how many people vote in this last election? And then how many of those people voted for someone that you might not necessarily agree with or understand, right? I'm willing to bet that within that spectrum of 70 million people that voted for a specific person, some of those people are probably looking back right now and going, holy crap, what the hell was I thinking? Why did I support this person? How wrong have I been? And for how long have I been wrong? I truly believe that if we turn our backs on all 70 million people that voted for Donald Trump in 2020, we're turning our backs on people that need to be taken in, that need to be accepted as they work through this crap. The goal isn't to push people away. The goal isn't to make people hate you. The goal isn't to create enemies, right? To judge others. The goal should be to help others work their way towards the right direction. Listen, everything that I've ever done in my life that I regret, anything that I've done that has been wrong, anything, any hurt that I've caused on someone else, any pain that I've brought about, it's all my fault. It's all on me. You have to have this extreme ownership mindset. When it comes to stuff like this, you've got to own your shit, right? And your headspace is your responsibility. So saying that certain things like the military or PTSD or being half black and half white growing up in DC, saying that those things caused you to be a certain way, okay, cool. That's one way to approach it. Another way to approach it is to say that my ignorance or my lack of attention or my lack of effort to understand things outside of myself has caused me to cause pain to others. And I want to stop that. I want to stop that immediately. If you want to save the world, you've got to work on yourself first. All right? So, one way to do that, the number one way to start working on yourself is to be extremely freaking vulnerable. All right, so vulnerability is defined as the quality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. So I put the link for Brene Brown's TED Talk down in the show notes. When you're ready, go check that out. But I'm going to share some stuff in here just to bring out a little bit of what I think was most important from what she said. The first thing that she talks about is the debilitating power of shame and fear, right? So we all feel some type of shame, especially if you've not been a perfect person your entire life. And there's so many people out there that have not been perfect people. Everybody's felt some level of shame at some point, right? Don't let shame be the reason you don't do good going forward. I'm turning 35 in February, okay? I love my country. I love this nation. I love our democracy, and I love the people inside this border, right? And I love people outside the border too, but obviously I'm an American. I was a Marine, and I will do anything that I believe it takes to defend my nation, right? I can't let the fact, if I believe in something so strongly that it's causing me to turn on the camera and scream out a message, I can't let the shame of what I've done in the past stop me. I can be authentic. I can be honest with you about what I've done in the past, and I can use my own experiences to help you understand why it's so important to figure this stuff out. But letting that stuff hold me back, letting that stuff keep this message bottled in, that helps nobody. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help anybody that I've messed up or oppressed or abused, right? It doesn't help any of that. So we have to start having conversations that challenge our history, that we have to start having conversations where we push past our shame, where we push past our imposter syndromes, and we just start fighting for what we think is right. So as we start to think critically and we start to really practice some self-awareness, we've got to push past any barrier that is stopping us from getting our good message out. Make your message true, authentic, and speak it. She also shares with us 3 C's that she believes are the key indicators of someone's level of vulnerability or their ability to be vulnerable. And the 3 things that those people share are going to be courage, compassion, and connection to others. So the courage to be imperfect, right? To expose yourself and be out there and do this work while figuring out these ideas that you're not so comfortable with and making mistakes and getting it wrong and being seen as a newbie because you can't get to really being an expert at anything. You can't get to good at anything if you don't first start out as a beginner. So having the courage to start out and be new to this is extremely important. The next thing that you have to have is compassion for self and others. Notice how she doesn't just say compassion for others. You have to love yourself first. You have to give yourself the same level of care, the same work, the same effort that you're going to give to the people that you want to help or the things that you want to change, right? The last C is connection. And she doesn't mean connection by a ton of people. What she means is true, authentic connection because you're able to show your true, authentic self. There's nothing really special about me, guys. I am just Joe Schmo with a camera, and I have an idea and a message, and I have a lot of resources that I think a lot of people would like to hear. And I'm really passionate about it. And this is just my little bubble. This is what I want to affect. I'm committed to reforming myself. I'm committed to being vulnerable and putting myself out there. And I hope that you guys can join this community, trusting me and moving forward through action with me. So I really think we can do some good work here. It's just a matter of you guys playing along and joining in and being active and engaging with the content. All right. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, head to the website, subscribe there. If you've already finished all the other required reading videos, make sure you stay tuned to the rest of this channel and send one of them to a friend that might need to hear it. Let's make some good things happen.